Equation of quadratic function from graph. Find the equation of parabola from the given graph. Determine the coordinates of vertex from your equation. I'm Anil Kumar, and let us see the strategy which we need to adopt to find the answer for this particular question. Now, good points to consider are we have very clearly defined y-intercept, and we also have a point here which is very clear. It is at -5. And some other points. We have to look for 3 points which can help us solve this question. So that is also a good point. These two are also good points. So at -2 we have a value of -1. So we'll take these points into consideration to find the equation of this parabola. Now, since we are given 2 points which are horizontally placed and one of them is a y-intercept, I prefer to use the partial factored form, right? So we'll go through partial factor form of the equation, right? Now in that what happens is that we know that the y value, the y-intercept is actually 5, right? Y-intercept is 5, so write +5 as the y-intercept. And if we are considering x-axis right here, let us think about a line here. In that case, this will be 0 when we are at -5 and at 0. So we can write this as a times x plus 5. Now, that is how we get this equation. Now, I'll give you more details about this. What we do is, we first find the y-intercept. So, y-intercept for us is 0 and 5. And then we locate the image of the y-intercept. This is image. Image of the y-intercept is at -5 and 5, correct? So these 2 points, center of this will give us the axis of symmetry, right? This is axis of symmetry, which we'll also calculate. And that helps us to find the equation. Now think about this parabola being here, right there, like this. In that case, since these two are transformed parabola, whose image point and the vertex point is at 0 and -5, I could write this as ax times x plus 5. And this parabola is translated up by 5 units, so +5. That is another way of looking into the same equation, correct? But in partial factoring, what we really do is we just pick up the y-intercept and see horizontal line, which places give you that image point, -5 and 0. So 0 and -5 are the 2 factors which will make it 0, right? +5, the value of y. So we get our equation y equals to ax times x plus 5 plus 5. Now here if I write x equals to 0, first factor becomes 0, so the y equals to 5. If I write x equals to -5, the second factor is 0. And so again I get y equals to +5, that is the image point, correct? So that is how you get your statement. This is so simple, right? Straight away you can read from the graph and write it down. Now let's find a. To find a, we'll use the point shown here, which is at -2, -1. So -1 is my y value. A value is to be found. X is -2. So we'll write -2 plus 5. Plus 5. Let's bring this 5 on the left side. -5 minus 1 equals to -2a times 3, which is indeed -6a. So it is -6 equals to -6a, or you can say a equals to 1, right? Since a equals to 1, I can write down my equation as y equals to x times x plus 5 plus 5. So that is the quadratic equation. You can always write this in standard form as x squared plus 5x plus 5. So that is the equation. Now let's do part B, or the second part. So that is the equation. We're done with the first one. Second is determine the coordinates of vertex from your equation. Now vertex is midway between these two horizontally placed points, right? So midway means x equals to 0 plus minus 5 divided by 2. So that's the average value. which is minus 2.5, correct? So we can substitute minus 2.5 here and calculate the value of y. So y will be equals to minus 2.5 square plus 5 times minus 2.5 plus 5, correct? So let's use the calculator. When you square the first part, 6.25, you get. So let me do it with the calculator. 2.5 square, and then we have minus 5 times 2.5, and then we have plus 5, that is equal to minus 5 over 4, which is minus 1.25. So that gives us minus 1.25. So this value of vertex is at minus 1.25. So we have vertex at x value of minus 2.5 and y value of minus 1.25, right? So that becomes the vertex. Since the parabola opens upwards, this is minimum, right? So we have minimum, correct? So that is how you can solve such questions. I hope you find it very simple. Locate your y-intercept and find a point which is horizontally placed on the graph, that is called the image of the y-intercept, and check the x-coordinate. Now the x-coordinate 0 and minus 5 gives you the same value of y on the parabola, right? So you get your equation y equals to a times x, which is because of this 0, times x minus 5 plus 5, the y-intercept. Find a using any point on the graph and then do the needful to get the equation. Thank you and all the best.